participating or cheering on a friend or a family member. My name is Walter Ritter. I'm the Executive Director and co-founder of Write Out Loud. Poetry Out Loud is presented locally by the City of San Diego in partnership with the National Poetry Foundation, the National Endowment for the Arts, the California Arts Council, and Write Out Loud. And now, for the main part of the evening, the competition itself. All of the participants you'll see here have already competed at a preliminary level, earning them a place to represent their school in the regional finals tonight. We have students competing from across the county: Bayfront Charter High School, Canyon Crest Academy, Eastlake High School, Patrick Henry High School, and Valley Center High School. For each poem, the students will be judged on 6 areas of their presentation: physical presence, voice and articulation, dramatic appropriateness, evidence of understanding, overall performance, and accuracy. As in previous years, there will be 2 rounds of poems this evening, and there will be a 10-minute break between the 2 rounds. We invite those of you here at the library to enjoy refreshments on the patio provided by the East County Women's Club. We are honored to have a distinguished panel of judges, including poet and singer and professor of creative writing, Brandon Semon, actress and Southwest High School English teacher, Pamela Britton, poet and commissioner of San Diego Commission for Arts and Culture, Gina Jackson, actor and comedian, Mark Christopher Lawrence, Lambs Players Theater Associate Artistic Director, Carrie Meads, and poet, teaching artist, Jim Moreno. At the end of the second round, while the scores are being tallied, students will have an opportunity to read or recite a poem of their choice. These poems will not be judged, they're simply for the enjoyment of all. The winner and runner-up will then be announced at the end of the competition. Tonight's winner will advance to compete at the state level. The runner-up will be standing by in case, for any reason, the first place student cannot move on to the state finals in March. Now that we are all ready, I would like to introduce our first participant, Raquel Casillas.
The World is About to End and My Grandparents Are in Love, by Kara Jackson. Still, living like they orbit one another. My grandfather the planet, and grandma his moon to sign by some gravitational pull. They've loved long enough for a working man to retire. Grandma says she's not tired. She wears her husband like a coat that survives every season, talks about him the way my parents talk about vinyl. The subject salvaged by the tent of their tongues. Grandma returns to her love like a hymn, marks it with a color. When the world ends, will it suck the earth of all its love? Will I go, taking somebody's hand, my skin becoming their skin? The digital age is taking away our winters, and I'm afraid the sun is my soulmate. That waste waits for a wet kiss. Carbon calls me pretty, and I think death is a good first date. I hope when the world ends, it leaves them be. Spares Grandpa and his game, Grandma spinning corn into weight. The 2 of them reeling into Western theme songs, the TV louder than whatever's coming. So, perhaps introduce her.
Raquel Casillas.
The World is About to End and My Grandparents Are in Love by Kara Jackson. Still, living like they orbit one another. My grandfather the planet and grandma his moon assigned by some gravitational pull. They've loved long enough for a working man to retire. Grandma says she's not tired. She wears her husband like a coat that survives every season. Talks about him the way my parents talk about vinyl. The subject salvaged by the tent of their tongues. Grandma returns to her love like a hymn, marks it with a color. When the world ends, will it suck the earth of all its love? Will I go, taking somebody's hand, my skin becoming their skin? The digital age is taking away our winters, and I'm afraid the sun is my soulmate. That waste waits for a wet kiss. Carbon calls me pretty, and I think death is a good first date. I hope when the world ends, it leaves them be. Spares Grandpa and his game, Grandma spinning corn into weight, the two of them reeling into Western theme songs, the TV louder than whatever's coming.
Camille Caniglio.
Learning to Love America by Shirley Giocolin Lim. Because it has no pure products. Because the Pacific Ocean sweeps along the coastline. Because the water of the ocean is cold, and because land is better than ocean. Because I say we rather than they. Because I live in California. I have eaten fresh artichokes and jacaranda bloom in April and May. Because my senses have caught up with my body. My breath with the air it swallows, my hunger with my mouth. Because I walk barefoot in my house. Because I have nursed my son at my breast because he is a strong American boy. Because I have seen his eyes redden when he is asked who he is, because he answers, I don't know. Because to have a son is to have a country. Because my son will bury me here. Because countries are in our blood and we bleed them. Because it is late, and too late to change my mind. Because it is time. Thank you.
Sarah Dutta.
Piano by D.H. Lawrence. Softly, in the dusk, a woman is singing to me, taking me back down the vista of years till I see a child sitting under the piano in the boom of the tingling strings and pressing the small, poised feet of a mother who smiles as she sings. In spite of myself, the insidious mastery of song betrays me back, till the heart of me weeps to belong to the old Sunday evenings at home, with winter outside and hymns in the cozy parlor, the tinkling piano, our guide. So now it is vain for the singer to burst into clamor with the great black piano appassionato. The glamour of childish days is upon me. My manhood is cast down in the flood of remembrance. I weep like a child for the past. Thank you.
Eva de la Peña.
The Passionate Shepherd to His Love by Christopher Marlowe. Come live with me and be my love, and we will all the pleasures prove that valleys, groves, hills, and fields, woods, or steepy mountain yields. And we will sit upon the rocks, seeing the shepherds feed their flocks by shallow rivers to whose falls melodious birds sing madrigals. And I will make thee beds of roses and 1,000 fragrant posies, a cap of flowers and a kirtle embroidered all with leaves of myrtle, a gown made of the finest wool, which from our pretty lambs we pull, fair-lined slippers for the cold with buckles of the purest gold, a belt of straw and ivy buds with coral clasps and amber studs. And if these pleasures may thee move, come live with me and be my love. The shepherd swains shall dance and sing for thy delight each May morning. If these delights thy mind may move, then live with me and be my love.
I Too by Langston Hughes. I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes. But I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody'll dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America. Thank you.
Teo Hood.
Once the World Was Perfect by Joy Harjo. Once the world was perfect and we were happy in that world. Then we took it for granted. Discontent began a small rumble in the earthly mind. Then doubt pushed through with its spiked head. And once doubt ruptured the web, all manner of demon thoughts jumped through. We destroyed the world we had been given for inspiration, for life. Each stone of jealousy, each stone of fear, greed, envy, and hatred put out the light. No one was without a stone in his or her hand. There we were, right back where we had started. We were bumping into each other in the dark. And now we had no place to live since we didn't know how to live with each other. Then one of the stumbling ones took pity on another and shared a blanket. A spark of kindness made a light. The light made an opening in the darkness. Everyone worked together to make a ladder. A Wind Clan person climbed out first into the next world, and then the other clans, the children of those clans, their children and their children, all the way through time to now, into this morning light, to you.
Kaylee Klaveness.
The Endgame of Bloom by Deborah Landau. Has it turned out that we've wasted our time? We've wasted our time. Our magnificent bodies on the dissecting table, our day after tomorrow, our what to do now, the stink of us so undignified, the endgame of Bloom. We will lose the sun, struck and disassembled, lightly down and crawling like a worm. This earth, it is a banquet, and laid on its table we, a puncture in the wound room, crude and obvious. The raving lunatics, they are upon us, but we are raving too.
Sadie Stevens.
Cartoon Physics, Part 1, by Nick Flynn. Children under, say, 10 shouldn't know that the universe is ever expanding, inexorably pushing into the vacuum, galaxies swallowed by galaxies, whole solar systems collapsing, all of it acted out in silence. At 10, we are still learning the rules of cartoon animation, that if a man draws a door on a rock, only he can pass through it. Anyone else who tries will crash into the rock. 10-year-olds should stick with burning houses, car wrecks, ships going down, earthbound, tangible disasters, arenas where they can be heroes. You can run back into a burning house. Sinking ships have lifeboats. The trucks will come with their ladders. If you jump, you will be saved. A child places her hand on the roof of a school bus and drives across a city of sand. She knows the exact spot it will skid, at which point the bridge will give, who will swim to safety, and who will be pulled under by sharks. She will learn that if a man runs off the edge of a cliff, he will not fall until he notices his mistake.
April Zuo.
The Days Gone by James Whitcomb Riley. Oh, the days gone by. Oh, the days gone by. The apples in the orchard and the pathway through the rye, the chirrup of the robin and the whistle of the quail as he piped across the meadows, sweet as any nightingale. When the bloom was on the clover and the blue was in the sky, and my happy heart brimmed over in the days gone by, in the days gone by, when my naked feet were tripped by the honeysuckle's tangles where the water lilies dipped, and the ripples of the river lipped the moss along the brink where the placid-eyed and lazy-footed cattle came to drink. And the tilting snipe stood fearless of the truant's wayward cry, and the splashing of the swimmer in the days gone by. Oh, the days gone by. Oh, the days gone by. The music of the laughing lip, the luster of the eye, the childish faith in fairies and Aladdin's magic ring, the simple, soul-reposing, glad belief in everything, when life was like a story, holding neither sob nor sigh, in the golden, olden glory of the days gone by. Thank you.
That is the end of the first round. Congratulations to all of you. We will now take a 10-minute break so you can stretch and grab something to eat or drink. The table is not out on the patio, as I said earlier. It's right over there. And be right back for round 2. the same order as in round one. So, Rachel Casillas, would you please come to the microphone?
The Affliction of Richard by Robert Bridges. Love not too much, but how? When thou hast made me such, and dost thy gift bestow, how can I love too much? Though I must fear to lose and drown my joy and care, with all its thorns I choose the path of love and prayer. Though thou, I know not why, didst kill my childish trust, that breach with toil did I repair because I must. In spite of frightening schemes with which the fiends of hell blaspheme thee in my dreams, so far I have hoped well. But what the heavenly key, what marvel in me wrought, shall quite exculpate thee? I have no shadow of thought. What am I that complain? The love from which began my question sad and vain justifies thee to man. Thank you.
Sarah Data. I'm sorry. Camille Caniglio.
No, I wasn't meant to love and be loved by Mirza Asadullah Khan Ghalib, translated by Vijay Seshadri. No, I wasn't meant to love and be loved. If I'd lived longer, I would have waited longer. Knowing you are faithless keeps me alive and hungry. Knowing you faithful would kill me with joy. Delicate are you, and your vows are delicate too. So easily do they break. You are a laconic marksman. You leave me not dead, but perpetually dying. I want my friends to heal me, succor me. Instead, I get analysis. Conflagrations that would make stones drip blood are campfires compared to my anguish. Two-headed, inescapable anguish. Love's anguish, or the anguish of time. Another dark, severing, incommunicable night. Death would be fine if I only died once. I would have liked a solitary death. Not this lavish funeral, this grave anyone can visit. You are mystical, Ghalib, and also you speak beautifully. Are you a saint or just drunk, as usual? Thank you.
song, Lying is an Occupation, by Letitia Pilkington. Lying is an occupation, used by all who mean to rise. Politicians owe their station but to well-concerted lies. These to lovers give assistance, to ensnare the fair one's heart, and the virgin's best resistance yields to this commanding art. Study this, superior science. Would you rise in church or state? Bid to truth a bold defiance. 'Tis the practice of the great. Thank you.
Eva de la Peña.
The Nymph's Reply to the Shepherd by Sir Walter Raleigh. If all the world and love were young, and truth in every shepherd's tongue, these pretty pleasures might me move to live with thee and be thy love. Time drives the flocks from field to fold while rivers rage and rocks grow cold, and Philomel becometh dumb. The rest complains of cares to come. Flowers do fade, and wanton fields to wayward winter's reckoning yields. A honey tongue, a heart of gall, is fancy spring, but sorrow's fall. Thy gowns, thy shoes, thy beds of roses, thy cap, thy kirtle, and thy posies soon break, soon wither, soon forgotten, in folly ripe, in reason rotten. Thy belt of straw and ivy buds, the coral clasp and amber studs, all these in me no means could move, to come to thee and be thy love. But could youth last, and love still breed, had joys no date, nor age no need, then these delights my mind might move, to live with thee and be thy love.
Karen Mora Galindo.
The Wish by a Young Lady by Letitia Pilkington. I ask, not wit, nor beauty do I crave, nor wealth, nor pompous titles wish to have. But since this doom through all degrees of life, whether a daughter, a sister, or a wife, that females should these stronger males obey, and yield implicit to their lordly sway. Since this I say is every woman's fate, give me a mind to suit my slavish state. Thank you.
Teo Hood.
Whenever You See a Tree by Padma Vikataraman. Think how many long years this tree waited as a seed for an animal or bird or wind or rain to maybe carry it to maybe the right spot, where again it waited months for seasons to change until time and temperature were fine enough to coax it to swell and burst its hard shell so it could send slender roots to clutch at grains of soil and let tender shoots reach toward the sun. Think how many decades or centuries it thickened and climbed and grew taller and deeper, never knowing if it would find enough water or light, or when conditions would be right, so it could keep on spreading leaves, adding blossoms, and dancing. Next time you see a tree, think how much hope it holds.
Kaylee Klobuchar.
On the Existence of the Soul by Patty and Rogers. How confident I am it is there. Don't I carry it as if it were enclosed in a fine leather case to particular places solely for its own sake? Haven't I set it down before the variegated canyon and the undeviated bald salt dome? Don't I feed it on ivory calcium and ruffled shell bellies, shore boulders, and on the site of the petrel motionless above the sea? Its splayed feet hanging. Don't I make sure it feels the invisibly fine spray at least once?
I have seen that it takes in every detail.
I have seen that it takes in every detail From the garden walls to its borders, I have described the comings and goings of 100 species of insects explicitly. I have named the chartreuse stripe and the fimbriated antenna and the bulbed thorax and the multiple eye. I have sketched out the brilliant wings of the horned ivy and invented new vocabularies to describe the intricacies between rocks and their crevices. Between the holly lip and its concept of itself. And if not for its sake, why would I go out alone at night and stare up straight into the sky, into 15 billion years ago and beyond? I have cherished it. I've named it. By my own solicitations, I have proof of its presence.
Sadie Stevens.
To the Poor by Anna Letitia Barbald. Child of distress, who meets the bitter scorn of fellow men to happier prospects born, doomed art and nature's various stores to see flow in full cups of joy, and not for thee, who seest the rich to heaven and fate resigned. Bear thy afflictions with a patient mind, whose bursting heart disdains unjust control, who feelst oppression's iron in thy soul, who dragst the load of faint and feeble years, whose bread is anguish and whose water tears. Bear thy wrongs, fulfill thy destined hour, bend thy meek neck beneath the foot of power. But when thou feelst the great deliverer nigh, and thy freed spirit mounting seeks the sky, let no vain fears thy parting hour molest, no whispered terrors shake thy quiet breast. Think not their threats can work thy future woe, nor deem the Lord above like lords below. Safe in the bosom of that love repose, by whom the sun gives light, the ocean flows. Prepare to meet a Father undismayed, nor fear the God whom priests and kings have made. Thank you.
Ozymandias by Percy Bysshe Shelley. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal, these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare. The lone and level sands stretch far away. Thank you.
Thank you all. You have given excellent performances. Congratulations. While the judges are tabulating their scores, we have a special treat. This is something that we had anticipated doing at the beginning of this evening, but due to a delay in our arrival, we have a special event. This is going to illustrate the power of poetry to unite people from across the globe. And to introduce it, and to introduce a little bit about the 16-year-old poet from Kabul, Afghanistan, please welcome Timothy Stein.
Hello, everybody. This is a story that began in April through the auspices of the Sarah Lawrence, I keep on thinking about that. It's the Samuel Lawrence Foundation. We were able to connect with the Malwood School in Kabul, Afghanistan. And through Zoom, we've been meeting every other week. And we talked, as kids talk, we talked about tests, we talked about things we love to do. We talked about what did you do during COVID? Because we all went through that together. And then there I met the 16-year-old Fariba Moibi. And then the fall came, the government. And because we talk on Signal every single day, even today, this was recorded, what you'll be seeing was recorded this morning. And she's texting me crying, it's like, what am I gonna do now? And I said, what do you love to do? And she says, I love to write. I love poetry. That's what Afghans do. And I said, then write. And she wrote, and she wrote, and she's written 80 poems, and she sends those poems to us. And then what we have right now is the ability to, through the technology, we have the translation, and then I have students who can translate from the Dari into English. And so Emily has been doing the translation. And the hope is that we actually get this published. So if she is quieted, her voice will be heard around the world. That's the goal. That's something that's going to happen. It's a technology allows us to do that. Then this is the opportunity to take it. And so this is happening right now, and this is just beginning. I don't know what's going to happen to Fariba. I know her voice will continue. And so right now, she's recorded one of her poems, and then Arsfi Shah will come and translate it into English. So if you have any more information, anything you want to ask me, I'll be here afterwards, because there's more to do. Thanks so much.
میهن کاش شود میهن روز باز سبز خرم پیدایت کنم کاش شود میهن روز باز سبز خرم پیدایت کنم رگ خونم چکیده بر قدومت جان خود فدایت کنم شاهدم هر لحظه حال آشوب و پریشانت ای ملتم شاهدم هر لحظه حال آشوب و پریشانت ای ملتم است ما را یک امیدی تا در آخرین دم پیروز معنایت کنم. تا در آخرین دم پیروز معنایت کنم. پیروز معنایت کنم. با امید روزی که یک افغانستان سبز خرم و شاد داشته باشه. با امید روزی که سراسر صلح، آرامش و آسایش در افغانستان داشته باشه. با امید روزی که پرچم والای خویش را بر بلندی ها افراشته و در تمام کشورهای جهان ابرقدرت باشد. زنده باد افغانستان. سپاس و امتنان از شما. امیدوار است شیر را که دکلمه کرده ام مورد پسند شما خوبان قرار گرفته باشد. ممنون.
Now is going to translate that for you.
Should I say this first? Hi, my name is Arshvi Shah, and I'm a senior at Canyon Crest Academy and a third year in Vision for the Conservatory of the Humanities Scholar. I will be reciting the two poems of Fariba Mohebi, a 16-year-old student in Afghanistan who was introduced to our class by Mr. Stuyven. After reading her works, I realized how many people there were in this world who wanted so badly to learn and have their voices be heard, but couldn't, due to either some oppressive force or by circumstance or both. I want Fariba to know her voice is extremely important, especially in this time of crisis. She is truly one of the most admirable and bravest individuals I've had the pleasure of honoring. Thank you. Oh God, how long will my homeland be ruined and ravaged? How long is all this killing of innocents? Fuel and smoke and cultivation and blood to every place. How long does it take for every young person to miss you? All this enlightenment went away. How long is cruelty to every man and bearded man? Tears welled up in her eyes as she moaned, how long is the holy blame of women and girls? Overturned heart and countless sorrows, despair and fear, of hatred, of enemies and foreigners. How long? Thank you. I wish I could find you a green and happy homeland one day. Otherwise, I will sacrifice my blood for you. My people, we see every moment of turmoil and distress gives us a hope of victory in the last breath. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Timothy and Fariba in Kabul and Arshvi. Now we can turn to, assuming that the tabulation still needs a little more time. Yes, it does. Do any of you participants have an open mic piece that you'd like to present? Nothing in your hip pocket?
I do.
Oh, well, please take the microphone.
I'm going to say this directly to you because you're my shiro. Not in the saying of you are you said, baffled and like a root stopped by a stone, you turn back questioning the tree you feed. But what the leaves hear, the roots do not ask. Inexhaustibly being at one time what was to be said, and at another time what has been said, the saying of you remains the living of you, never to be said. But enduring, you change with a change that changes, and yet are not the changing of any of you. Ever yourself, you're always about to be yourself in something else. Ever with me.
judges, a poet, and a teaching artist. Yes.
I didn't plan this, but can I?
Yes, certainly, ma'am.
And can I get my phone to this item?
Yes,
Sure.
of course.
Thank you so much.
A boat beneath us, sorry. A Boat Beneath a Sunny Sky by Lewis Carroll. A boat beneath a sunny sky, lingering onward dreamily in an evening of July. Children 3 that nestle near, eager eye and willing ear, pleased a simple tale to hear. Long has paled that sunny sky, echoes fade and memories die. Autumn frosts have slain July. Still she haunts me, phantom-wise, Alice moving under skies, never seen by waking eyes. Children yet, the tale to hear, eager eye and willing ear, lovingly shall nestle near. In a wonderland they lie, dreaming as the days go by, dreaming as the summers die. Ever drifting down the stream, lingering in the golden gleam. Life, what is it but a dream? Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to recite something? Please.
This is Scheherazade by Richard Sykin, unrehearsed, so let's have a fun time with it. Tell me about the dream where we pull the bodies out of the lake and dress them in warm clothes again. How it was late and no one could sleep, the horses running until they forgot that they were horses. It's not like a tree where the roots have to end somewhere. It's more like a song on a policeman's radio. How the days were bright red, and every time we danced, we pulled the carpet up, and every time we kissed, there is another apple to slice into pieces. Look at the light through the window pane. That means it's noon. That means we're inconsolable. Tell me how all this, and love too, will ruin us. These are bodies possessed by light. Tell me we'll never get used to it. Thank you.
Very well then. The judges' patent scores have been fully tabulated. I'm going to turn the microphone over now to Veronica Murphy, the artistic director of Write Out Loud, to announce the winners.
Before I do that, just to make you have to wait a little longer, I again want to thank the San Diego Commission for Arts and Culture, the California Arts Council, the Poetry Foundation, and the National Endowment for the Arts. It is through their vision and their funding that this is possible. And for me, this is one of the most exciting evenings of the year because I get to hear these wonderful young people recite amazing poetry. And I just want to congratulate all of you. I cannot even explain to you how very, very close this was. And I've spoken with some people that have been here in years past. This was really, really tough. And before I actually present the regional finalist certificates and the winners, I also want to let you all know, and you, that along with the San Diego County Office of Education, we have a poetry writing initiative, And for young people from anywhere in the county, from grades kindergarten through 12th grade, if you would like to write a poem inspired by your experience or a made-up experience dealing with the pandemic, then please contact us or look on our website under Education Pandemic Poetry, and you'll find all the information you need. Every single poem that is entered will be published in a digital magazine. So it's not a contest, it's an opportunity to express your own voice or an experience that you've imagined or heard of from someone else dealing with this very crazy, difficult time that's been going on. And if you have a program, the information about that is on the back. So, we're going to present the certificates for the finalists and all of the students that are here today. And then the last two that we present will be the runner-up and the winner. And the winner will go to the state finals. Unfortunately, that's going to be virtual this year, so you won't actually get to go to Sacramento, but you will, for the winner and the runner-up, if you would stay after for just a few minutes so that we can give you some information that you will need for that. So, you know how to say the names.
Raquel Casillas.
Congratulations.
Camille Caniglia.
Congratulations.
Sarah Dutta. Eva de la Peña. Karen Mora Galindo. Teo Hood. Kaylee Kloberdans.
And our runner-up,
April Zuo.
and our first place winner who will represent San Diego at the state finals.
Sadie. Well, that's the end of this event. I encourage all of you to do something. It might even heighten your appreciation of what you've been witnessing. Memorize a poem and deliver it to your family or to your friends or at the dinner table. It's just a thought. I'd also like to invite you to go to WriteOutLoudSanDiego.com, our website, and check out all the programs of Write Out Loud. And that is the end of the program.